Praneet. I'm the Associate Director for upGrad Abroad. I look after university partnerships. I look after undergraduate business at upGrad. I look after alumni management. And finally, I look after digital and physical events that we do as upGrad Abroad. I'll give you a little bit or my 2 cents on hybrid degrees or blended degrees. So upGrad Abroad's forte is blended transnational higher education. What we essentially do is we run masters, bachelors, both of these across the world: Australia, Canada, US, UK, Ireland, France, Germany. And we let students like yourselves commence or start the program online for about 6 months. And then you finally transition into an on-campus medium wherever or whichever universities you've chosen. So the range of online coursework in India can range from 4 months to 11 months. Some of these courses will take you 6 months or a semester. Some of these courses will take you 8 months. Some of these will take 11 months. And then you finally land on campus. The practical or the most pragmatic part of it is that whenever you're doing the Indian coursework, you're still enjoying as many benefits as you possibly can from your university abroad. So if, for example, if your post-study work visa had to be 3 years, and even if you're doing some part in India, you would still get a 3-year post-study work visa. For example, if your universities were to give a normal degree to a normal, to a full-time student, you'll get the exact same degree. It's just that the coursework, your tuition cost, your living cost is substantially reduced, giving you the chance to make your degrees more affordable, more democratized, because you decide when do you want to move on campus. And then finally, they make it more accessible to you because there's no GMAT, there's no GRE, there's no SAT, there's no ACT. And in some countries, there are no IELTS, right? So that said, that is what upGrad Abroad does. We've got tons of university options. Approximately at this point, we've got about 57 universities, and we've got about 100 different courses across them. Let's jump to your questions. I can see that you guys have asked me a lot of questions about US, Canada, Germany, Australia. So I'll go one by one for each country, and I hope I cover every essential aspect of the visa process as you asked me. Number one is the United States, right? For the US, whenever you apply for a course, a standard master's course is going to be 18 to 24 months, covering about 30 to 36 to even 42 credits in some degrees. That can extend to about 2 years. And the US Masters will allow you to be an F1 student, an international student. And here's how the visa process looks like. You apply to a US university for your master's. You need your bachelor's, you need an English proficiency score. It can be IELTS, TOEFL, PTE, or Duolingo. US is one of the countries that, happily accepts Duolingo. You get a conditional offer. You show them your proof of funds and all of your transcripts. For example, you will show them 1 year of tuition fee, 1 year of living expenses. Or if you're applying for a loan, you show them the complete loan sanction letter. Once you show them that letter, you get an I-20. An I-20 is your official document that you need for an F1 visa. And as soon as you hand in your I-20, you have a service fee that you pay. And then finally, you apply for a US visa. In between the conditional offer and I-20, you pay a token or a deposit amount to get the I-20, finally pay a service fee, and you're all set for the US visa. A US visa would demand you to have a good enough explanation of the kind of sources you will arrange your funds from, all the way from living expenses to tuition every single year. The US would ideally expect you to have 6.5 on IELTS, right? With no band less than 5.5. But in general, I think a lot of universities in the US actually just want 6.5. They don't really have stringent criteria on each section. However, just to be super safe, should have at least 5.5 on all of them. Another conventional requirement that the US has is profile building. Especially if you're going for MBA, they need a great GMAT score. If you're going for non-business programs, you need a GRE score, which is the Graduate Record Examinations. At GRE, you have an aptitude test, you've got a qualitative test, you've got a quantitative test, you have a language test. There are 100 things that you do. And essentially that will help you get into better schools, right? So a GRE score above 330 and plus is good. A GMAT score above 700 or at least 650 is wow, right? So above 700 is of course good. That said, the US definitely expects you to have almost negligible gap years. And the most important thing is you can't afford to have backlogs when you apply for a US visa. Absolutely not. Your backlogs or your ATKT should be less than 10. Your GPA should be higher than 3.0 for the most part, but even 2.4, 2.5 is acceptable in some universities. However, whenever you apply to a good university, you need a 3 GPA on 4. If you want a GPA conversion tool, you can search it on Google, but GPAs are normally ascertained or deciphered or discerned from the grading systems of each of your universities back in India. And as soon as you got your GPA, you apply, and that's how you get in. Now, when you look at embassies and what the US embassy and what they ask you for, you should have a clear explanation of the gap years that you've had maybe. And if not, if you're changing streams, going from arts to business or business to analytics or data science to computer science, XYZ, you need to have a bridge, as in how are you experienced? So a technical degree and normal work experience, or a normal degree which is irrelevant or non-relevant to your aspirational course that you're going for, with technical experience if it's a technical program. So long story short, you need a befitting bridge whenever you apply for the United States. Let's talk about Germany. When we look at Germany as, with respect to the visa process, Germany's visa process for Indian students has suddenly changed with APS. What you're expected to do now is you need to get all your transcripts authenticated through APS, which is an autonomous body run by the ministry in Germany, and that the control of which lies with the consulate of Germany in India. APS gets you the appointment, APS gets you the certificate that you're eligible to apply for a German bachelor's or master's. For a German bachelor's, you need a 13-year of schooling, right? You don't need 12 years. 12 years are not acceptable. You need 13 years of schooling. Essentially, what that means is a 12th grader cannot enter Germany. They have to do a Studienkolleg, or they need a 13-year of diploma. What upGrad does is upGrad has that leeway with students, because we let you do a German degree right after your 12th grade. You do some portion in India and then you move to Germany. Similarly, for masters, German masters will be of 3 types: 60 ECTS, 90 ECTS, and 120 ECTS. 90 ECTS will always be an MBA. 60 ECTS are different degrees. It could be an MBA, it could be a technical degree, it could be data science, computer science, XYZ, and 120 could be normal degree. So any 3-year degree. So now here's the caveat. Indian students with a general BA and ideally a general BSc are not taken by the German embassy or considered or deemed qualified for a master's program. No, you need to have a specialized BA or a specialized BSc to enter into Germany and qualify or be eligible for a degree in Germany. APS comes with a fee. If I'm not wrong, the fee is going to be roughly 18,000 rupees, Indian rupees. And you need to get all your transcripts, your English proficiency test, PTE, TOEFL, IELTS, Duolingo. And you need to give all other academic documents. That said, Germany will require you to pay or make a block account for 11,000 approximate euros. Please note that this is a tentative figure. I think the exact figure is 11,300. That's a block account that you can make use of at a later stage, but Germany needs you to have that when you apply for a visa. They need you to show at least 6 months or 1 year of fee. Sometimes they can even ask you to deposit 6 months of fee in the university's account and show them the proof. Depends, but essentially 1 year of your tuition, 1 year of living, which is covered through your block account, has to be shown. Apart from that, I think Germany's good part is that during visa, they never create an issue if the gap years are long. If especially for a bachelor's, even if you graduated your school or grade 12th, that 3, 4, 5, even up to 9 or 10 years ago, you're absolutely fine to apply for a German bachelor's. For masters, some unexplained gap years are acceptable as long as you qualify for the program. Moving to Canada, let's say. Canada has 2 ways to apply for a visa. One is called the Student Direct Stream, the STS visa. The turnaround time or the TAT for which should be 20 days, but right now it's taking about 1.5 to 2 months. Canadian visa, if you're applying for STS or Student Direct Stream, needs you to spend or deposit 1 year of tuition and make a GIC, a Guaranteed Investment Certificate, for 10,000 Canadian dollars. If you got all of that set, you're all set for the Canadian visa. You need to be applying for the right course that has a good bridge between what you've been doing and what you're applying for. As long as that's all set, you can apply for the Canadian visa. Keep your age in check. I think if not an MBA, anybody above 40 should ideally refrain, because Germany, US, Canada, they're all looking for younger workforce. But yes, with no offense, I think MBA is a degree that actually and very reasonably so attracts students or working professionals who are even beyond the age of 40 because of the value that they can create for any country's economy. And I think the career trajectory sometimes just demands that you upskill yourself. At upGrad, we support that. So anybody who's 40 and plus sometimes has a good shot in MBA across the world. Canada would need, like I said, if you're not applying for SDS, you just need to make a little deposit that the university highlights for you. As soon as you make that, you send your transcripts, you apply for an SDS visa if you've paid 1 year tuition, 1 year of GIC. If not, then you pay for, then you apply for a normal visa. In case you're applying for SDS, you need a 6 band on your IELTS with no band, with no section less than 6 bands. And essentially, if you're applying for a normal visa, you can do with a little lesser in some of these bands, but I think ideally your score should be 6. Canada accepts PTE, TOEFL, Duolingo sometimes, but SDS would only require IELTS. They don't accept anything else, right? Here's a hope, though. The US and Canada, even if you're not very proficient in English, give you a pathway. It's called ESL, English as a Secondary Language. And if you take that pathway, you're actually good to enter into any US or Canadian bound university. So that's a good hope. Canada, especially in Ontario or British Columbia, attracts more students for visa because these are English-speaking provinces. There are some provinces like Quebec that speak French, but I think a city like Montreal, Ottawa, Toronto, Vancouver, Calgary, Alberta, Halifax, all of these attract a heavy flux of students. Even Manitoba has a heavy flux of students. Now, Canada's immigration policy would need you to have a CRS, comprehensive ranking score. So the more degrees that you do in Canada, the more points you get. The younger you are, the more points you get. The more you have on IELTS as a general IELTS, you get a higher edge on the immigration front. But as long as you're studying in Canada, they give you a post-study work visa 3 years. I will cover all post-study work visas towards the end of this quick walkthrough. Australian visa policy is a little stringent. It's a little strict. It requires a GTE assessment, which is a genuine temporary entrant. They check your finances, your proficiency, your language ability. They check your gap years. I think of all the countries I've seen, or I've noticeably considered, their visa assessment structure, I think Australia is the most strict when it comes to gap years. They will not spare you even if you've got a single gap year with when you were doing nothing. I think COVID was a huge relaxation because for 2 years they still, they still approved for someone not doing enough. But I think Australia is very, very, very careful. Um, Again, Australia demands you to have 1 year of tuition, 1 year of living expenses in your bank account 6 months prior at least. US will need it 3 months prior. Canada would require it. Canada will forego it as long as you've got STS criteria. Australian visa, but it's super quick though. Australian visas are quick. They take about 5 to 8 weeks. Canada will take about 5 to 8 weeks. US will depend on when do you get an appointment. But US can be applied 4 months prior. Germany can't comment on it right now because everything depends on the authenticity, on the appropriate nature of your profile. And as long as you have that, I think you're all set for Germany. That said, I think the other part about Australia is that you have to be very specific on your resume about every single initiative that you did every year. On the profile building front, is just the US that is very finicky about how much relevant activities you've done. Australia cares a lot about community service, for example. Australia cares a lot about social work, for example. Australia cares a lot about extracurricular activities and development, for example. So all of that is well taken into account. Finally, it's the UK. UK gives you a student visa. The good part about UK is the UK can take gap years. The good part about UK is just the 1 year short master's, 3 year short bachelor programs that the UK does. In the UK, again, you need about 10,000 to 11,000 pounds if you're going to London, and if you're outside of it, you need about 9 to 10. A little above 1,000 or 1,500 pounds if you go to London, or if you're studying there. And UK will need you to have at least 1 year of tuition fee, as long as you're getting that GIR is given. So once you do a 1 year master's, you get a graduate immigration route visa, GIR. Yeah, as long as you have that, you can work after your studies are done. In retrospect, I think from all the countries I mentioned, UK and Germany are the most liberal ones when it comes to gap years, or being flexible and being open to considering unconventional profiles as well. For example, here's an interesting fact. UK accepts you straight into masters if you've not done your bachelor's after 12th, but you were a CEO of a startup, or you've done exceptionally great in your life on the work front, or you've done something impeccable or commendable, you can get straight into a master's course. So UK is a very flexible country when it comes to student visas. All of these countries will have a definitive fee attached to it, the visa fee. I'll cover the post-study work visa policy or nuances for all these. US will give you a 1 year OPT or an optional practical training if it is a non-STEM course or a non-science, technology, engineering, mathematics intensive course. The US will give you 3 years of OPT if it is a STEM course. So all of these courses are designated with a STEM title, right? If they're a STEM course. And if they are one, then you get a 3 year post-study work visa, or called the OPT. But remember, you can't just roam around driving cars or cabs or trucks. You have to have relevant job opportunities only. You can't have anything random in the US. Here's an interesting thing. You can't really work part-time in the United States, but what you can definitely do is, after you complete 1 year of education in the United States, you can apply for CPT, a curricular practical training, right? That essentially means that you can work part-time on a relevant front, right? Germany will give you 18 months of post-study work visa. That's only to find a job. It's a job search visa. And then if you find a job, you get a labor contract, you get a 4-year extension to work visa, or as long as your work contract is or your labor contract is. And you get a blue card if your salary is above the blue card figure. And finally, you get a PR within 21 months. You can apply for it. I mean, don't get it. You can apply for it. If you're a blue card holder, and if you're a typical work visa holder, you can apply after 33 or 36 months, right? Next up is the UK. UK gives you a 2-year graduate immigration route, or two-year post-study work visa. Then comes Australia. Also, Australia has a different criteria. So if you're studying in Sydney, Melbourne, or Brisbane, you get a 2-year work visa. And if you're going to a non-metro, or let's say regional parts like Sunshine Coast, Gold Coast, Perth, Brisbane, and a couple of more cities, you get 3 years of post-study work visa. And if you're going further regional to Tasmania and XYZ, then you get 4 years of work visa, to an extent that, and for every master's course, Brisbane, Sydney, Melbourne will give you 3 years. Regional cities like Canberra, which is the capital of Australia, Sunshine Coast, Gold Coast, Brisbane, Perth, these cities will give you 4 years. So plus 1 if you're doing masters, right? Finally, Canada will give you a 3-year. So Canada is very technical, okay? So if you're doing something under 8 months, you don't get anything. If you're doing from 8 months to 24 months, the post-study work duration is as much as the length of your course. So if my course was 15 months, my post-study work visa is 15 months. If my course duration is 18 months, my visa will be 18 months. But if my course duration were to be 2 years, I get a 3-year post-study work visa, right? That's how Canada works. I hope I come. If you're going to Ireland, you get a 2-year work visa. If you go to Finland, you get a 2-year work visa. Finland doesn't need IELTS, by the way. And finally, which country did I skip? I think I covered all of them. All set. I'm going to hop on to your questions now. I'll be as fast as we could. Kindly speak on APS certificate. So APS certificate is issued to you based on the authenticity of your transcripts. The more authenticated transcripts you give, which means sealed, stamped, signed by your university, get all the documents in order, get all your explanations or statement of purpose or your IELTS score, everything should be in order. Every single explanation of your gap should be made. A proper, comprehensive, laid out resume has to be made and sent. APS certificate will come to you sooner than you can think. APS has a cost attached to it. I think at this point it's about 18,000 rupees. And they give you a slot to get your visa also. Financial requirement for US F1, I answered it. 1 year tuition, 1 year living. Is upGrad Abroad providing any hybrid masters? We've got MS Data Science in the US, MS Computer Science, MS AI, MS Cybersecurity, MBA in STEM, which gives you a 3-year post-study work visa, MBA in Business Analytics, MBA in Cybersecurity, MBA in Finance and Accounting, MBA in Information Management, MS Project Management, MS Information Technology, MS Information Technology and Management, MS Data Analytics, MS, what did I miss? We've got an MBA IT, we've got MBA Healthcare, we've got MBA Organizational Change. All of these are there. They're all hybrid, and the budget can be as low as 15 lakh rupees. For example, we've got Clark University on tuition. Sorry, I meant less than 15 lakhs as tuition. So Clark University's fee is about 12.5 lakhs, and Indian portion is about 3 lakhs. So within 15 lakhs, a US degree is all set. I want to pursue MBA abroad. The criteria for MBA normally is a 2-year work ex and at least a 50% on your bachelor's. What's the cost of studying in UK? UK can be between 25 to 30 lakhs. With upGrad, it's less than 15 to 20 lakhs, right? So upGrad fee for UK university should be about between 10 to 11,000 pounds. That's about 10 to 11 lakhs, coupled with living costs. That's another 10 lakhs, but you get to work part-time, right? US visa appointments are tough to get. How can we ensure? The best way is to keep chasing the website, just keep checking on it. Sometimes they open the website for US slots late in the night almost every day. So keep a good check on it. Although I'm not an expert and no one to talk about this, but the point is that they open up. You have to be super responsive, super active with it. What is the visa procedure? And if someone fails, what happens? If someone failed IELTS, you repeat IELTS. Then if you don't want to repeat IELTS, you go for Duolingo. Look, there's no failure in IELTS. It's just that you may score lesser, and then US Canada will give you an ESL, an English secondary language, English as a second language pathway, but the visa success for that is little low. So just keep that in mind. Does one apply for visa before applying for universities? No. After universities give you the unconditional offer letter, then when exactly should I apply for visa? Only when you get the unconditional offer letter, funds are all set, everything is all set. Is IELTS compulsory if you choose Germany? Yes, it is. Will visa IELTS is a very tricky concept. So APS says if your university waives it off, sure, but normally they now ask for it. Will visa acceptance depend on university applied? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. If the university is blacklisted in that country, if the university is poorly ranked, if the university is new or private or has some trust issues with the embassy, then maybe yes. But mostly it's not the case. What's the cost of studying in Swiss? Well, I don't frankly know much about that. Scholarship for MBA students in Canada. Scholarships for MBA students in Canada can range between 6,000 to 8,000 CAD. Depends on your IELTS score, depends on your academic merit. These two are the fundamental criteria. What role does upGrad play in the visa process? A very big one. So to say, we apply for your visa end to end. We take care of getting your documents assessed, screened, scrutinized, your financial health assessed, helping you, coaching you, mentoring you through the way, and finally helping you, ensuring that you've written a good statement of purpose, that your financial proofs are accurate, authenticated, checked, that you've got all the necessary documents explaining your gap, if any, and that you have a bridge course that we give you. So you can switch from arts to analytics with us, and we'll give you a data science course to do so that a bridge is built, but also you get certain course waivers in your final university when you do those courses. Germany student visa process. I explained to you, I have 18 years of work experience with already master's degree from the UK. What are my chances of securing visa for US considering my age? I think you should do an MBA, and the chances are bright. Depends if you've not had a single gap year, if you're doing prolific in your career, and if you're progressing, you're doing great. Sure, yes. I have an MOI of a 4-year bachelor's. I get admission. IU Germany does IELTS. IELTS may be required. Please consult your admission counselor for this. What happens if you get accepted into one college in the US and you accept and then want to change your college? Please explain. Actually, this is on a very politically correct question, and so I think I'll refrain from answering this. But as a general rule, once you've completed 1 full year in the US, you can actually switch and get your credits accepted into a better university. For example, if I went to a community college, after 2 years, I changed to Columbia University. It is possible after 1 year if I wanted to move to Columbia. So it's good if you're moving to a very aspirational university, but if you're just trying to see that, no, I just want to move from university to college, not the best thing that you're going to do. What about a person with a gap year? Sagar, so that's fine. The point is, it should be explainable, right? Why chat is disabled? Because we can talk here then. Law graduate in India wants to pursue a master's in management in Germany. What should I do? Sure. Go ahead. Anybody can do management. Does upGrad help us in? So if you have 2 years of work ex, you go for an MBA. And if you don't, then you go for MIM. Does upGrad help in process from college application to visas? 100% yes. Where should I approach you? Giving you my email address. Write to me. I'll take that forward. My name is Praneet, followed by my surname Singh at upgrad.com. So praneet.singh at upgrad.com. Praneet is spelled, okay, wait, I'll just put that down on the chat box. Praneet.singh at upgrad.com. What are all universities upGrad partnered with? Okay, so just go to upgradabroad.com and give you our website link. My colleague Arushi will be doing that as well. Just go to our website. We've got multiple universities in the US: Clark University, Yeshiva University, Clarkson University. We've got Utica. We've got University of West Florida. We've got Troy University. We've got University of West Alabama. We've got University of Nevada, Las Vegas. We have got City University of Seattle. We've got Northern Arizona University. We've got Campbellsville. We have got McMurray University in Texas, Shawnee State. There are so many universities that we've got in the US. I have 7 backlogs and I'm applying to Yeshiva. How to ace the visa interview? Well, don't think about acing it. Just be yourself, be authentic, make sure that you know what you're talking about, make sure that you have a demonstrable hold of your domain, that you know how to explain your case, you have thorough subject knowledge, and your why of going to Yeshiva for that course is very clear in your head, you're all set. Will upGrad help us in placement after finish my whole 30 year in Germany? upGrad helps you with career opportunities and career services, 100% yes. How many ECTS are required for 2+2? I think you should talk to the nearest admission counselor, and they would be the best ones to take care of that. My started is May 2022. I've completed my 8 months online course. My total course duration is 20 months. So what do I need to do next? You need to talk to your admission counselor or just drop an email to me, Praneet.Singh at upgrad.com is my email address. Just write to me. I'll take that forward with you for you. How long does it take for visa acceptance? Canada, up to 8 weeks. Australia, up to 8 weeks. US, as long as you get the appointment, you get to know more or less the same day what's the status. Germany can take up to months sometimes. Depends on your profile. The simpler, the sooner. Is higher age affect visa process? After 40, yes. It's better to apply by my own or with an agency. I'm not going to answer that. I'm sorry. I have to be, giving you the benefit of doubt. But the point is, look, it doesn't really matter. Nobody can skew or distort facts for you. And I am a big advocate of the point that whoever applies, that's not the point. The point is you should have a thorough reading or thorough revisit of everything that you put down and however you are being represented. If I have the unfinished letter by the month of June 24, can I apply everything set for quality? Yes, correct. Apply. So the US lets you apply 4 months prior. Okay. I have 5 years experience. Is it going to help me if I get low band in IELTS? No, experience has nothing to do with IELTS. If you get low bands in IELTS or low score in IELTS, then you just get an ESL. And if it's Germany, then it can't help you. You'll have to reappear for Duolingo. Duolingo is easier. Logad in India, I answered this. Why IELTS is mandatory in Germany? Is IELTS mandatory? But English proficiency score is mandatory in Germany unless you have an exception. Is Germany good for management and business studies? Well, Germany is the #1 economy in Europe, the 4th largest in the world. And it is crazy when it comes to industrial growth there, where you talk about automotive sector, you talk about manufacturing, you talk about engineering, you talk about factory, you talk about advanced engineering, you talk about consulting, 100%. I think IU, our partner, has 94% employability. UE, our partner, has about 95% employability rate. And finally, ISM has a 96% employability rate. What documents do we need to apply visa for the US? You need a lot of documents, all your transcripts, your loan or your financial documents, and finally your IELTS score. After how many months can I go to Germany after completing my course? So after 18 months, you can apply for APS and then you're all set. Do we need work experience to do an MBA? So the MBA work experience can range from 2 years to 3 years, depends on the university. Do you people deal with PhD? So actually, no agent actually deals with PhD. PhD is something you do submit a synopsis and then apply, and then everything depends your topic of research, everything. So I don't think you should go with an agent. I think you should apply on your own. Right? What would be the approx cost and time duration to pursue an MSc in the US? Well, look, if you were applying to the US directly, you would be expected to spend 18 to 24 months, but with upGrad, you just have to spend 12 months. Your tuition fee is waived off by almost $10,000 to $12,000, in some cases almost by $30,000. And duration is reduced to 12 months. So it's half, fee is half, you still get a 3-year post-study work visa, right? But a normal MSc like you asked will be at least 2 years. Is Germany very strict? How is it possible? It's not that it's strict. It's just not that it's a very foolproof system. You can't have inauthentic transcripts. You can't apply with a mediocre university degree or a university that's not recognized in Germany or blacklisted in India. They are very particular, very specific, but that doesn't mean it's strict. It just means that they're very foolproof. Like uh, you you can't apply to Germany with inauthentic information. They've strictly regulated that. You can't get slots outside of the market. Everything is streamlined through APS, right? So if you're a genuine applicant, Germany is going to be very friendly. What's the possibility of not non-eligibility of visa? There's no such thing as non-eligibility. As long as you're eligible for the university and have substantive proof that you're not going to be a liability on the country or anything, you're all set. Where we should do masters if you go for economical side. So Germany will be close to 10 lakhs of tuition. US will be close to 15 lakhs of tuition. UK will be close to 15 lakhs of tuition. Ireland should be about 10 to 15 lakhs of tuition. So I think Germany is going to be the most affordable. Soon we'll have Finland also in our on our portfolio, and that's going to make it super easy. I want to pursue bachelor's in the US and I'm in my first year. Will upgrade help me to apply for university in the US as a transfer student? 100% yes, we will. What will be the cost? But you must get in touch with us right now. I've given you my email address. What will the cost if I go to MSc in data science at the University of West Florida? So West Florida has a 30 credit degree. Each credit costs about $1,000. I think their exact per credit cost is $1,031. We to our triple ITB advanced certificate in data science, we waive off 9 credits equivalent to 9,000 US dollars. That means your typical cost comes down to 21,000 US dollars. Instead of a 2 years master's, it comes down to 1 year master's, or even from 18 months to 1 year. You save 6 months of living cost. That's another $10,000. Technically, you're saving $20,000 if you're going through upgrad. That means with your living expenses, you're going to be spending close to about 24 lakh rupees. Oh, no, sorry. Yeah, yes. So 20,000 USD of fee, 10 of living. Yes, about 24 lakhs of rupees that you spend to study MSDS at Florida. If you were studying data analytics at Clark University, you'd spend about 15 lakhs on tuition. Super affordable. Please explain financial requirement of Germany living expenses. It's about 11,000 euros and another 6,000 euros if you're going for MBA 60 CTS, about 8, I think by 8 to 9,000 euros if you're going for 90 CTS MBA, 1 semester in India, 2 semesters in Germany. Why does Germany not accept BA? So Germany accepts BA, they just don't accept general BA or BSc. What will be the amount in INR for 1 year tuition fee? About 15, 16, 20 lakhs, not more than that. What is the process of PR in USA if BBA? So I think PR is a very sensitive topic in the US. You get a OPT, then you get an H1B, then an I-140 is made. I mean, for you to get a green card and then so on and so forth. It's a long process, but there's no set PR process per se. It moves through a GC like a green card. If I'm doing my master's to upgrade, that is 1 year, then can I apply for CPD from day one? Well, actually, the smart thing is that after 12 months of time in the US, you can work part-time and earn some money and work only 20 hours a week. Upgrad says after 1 year, you can work full-time. And you can earn 100,000 USD, which are your average techie salaries, instead of being paid $10 to $12 an hour, right? So after 1 year, upgrade allows you to go straight into OPT. So, which is how we shorten your curve, right? From education to employability. Yeah, Sanket, I think the best way to talk about this is just talk to your counselor about the IELTS waiver for IU Germany. But on APS, the IELTS is a mandatory requirement. But however, if IU waives it off, then I think it's doable. How many seats are required for 2+2? I think you should talk to the your admissions counselor for this. Income tax documents, yes, your ITR is 100% required whenever you apply for any visa, except that whenever you apply for a Canadian STS visa, sometimes you can forego the financial documents. But I think a more detailed thing you should be, you can find that on the website. But essentially, STS keeps you very safe. You don't have to have other financial documents if you pay the 1-year fee and 1-year tuition, living expenses. With that, I just want to make sure that you understand at the end of the webinar that upGrad lets you save tons of money, yet gives you the same length of post-study work visa. We handle the entire visa process for you, starting from statement of purpose to application to visa filing. Every single thing is taken care of us. We even go to the extent of helping you with your career services onshore once you're done with your degree. Every single thing is taken care of by us, and we take 100% accountability and responsibility for that. And we've got some of the finest universities across England, United States, Scotland, Canada, Ireland, and Germany, where you can study after doing 1 semester or 2 semesters in India and finally moving abroad. We give you a dual degree from IIT Ghaziabad or Triple IIT Bangalore. In some cases with that university, you are allowed to start in India. So you don't really need to sign up for any Indian partner. You can just sign up straight for them and they let you do some portion in India. I wish you guys all the best. My colleague Arushi has put down a link of the website where you can definitely find more courses for yourself. I am going to put down my email address, praneet.singh@upgrad.com. I wish you guys all the best. Hope you guys will write to me. You can also follow me on LinkedIn or drop me a message if you want to, in case you want to gain more clarity on studying abroad. Wishing you guys all the best. Have a happy week ahead. And wishing all of you a very happy new year. I hope you guys have an incredible year. And I hope you have tons of things to be reminiscent about in the last year and grow upon, build upon them this year, right? Wishing you guys all the best. Thank you very much. I just want to take a quick look at the last set of questions if I missed out any. If we go for 1-year MBA course from upGrad and after 6 months we're not able to get visa, then you can even change your country. So the same base program lets you go to France, Ireland, Germany, Australia, Canada, US. You can go anywhere. I've got 3 years undergrad, BSc in CS with 5+ years work experience. Oh, yes, you are eligible fully for the US, 100%. What's needed to get day 1 OPT? You can't get day 1 OPT. You can't get day 1 CPT. It comes after some time, after you've completed 2 terms, okay? There are some courses that work with CPT, some universities, but that's very contingent to each university, right? Yes, you're eligible for MIM if you have a BA in French, right? Which country is best for climate change and sustainability? The US, 100%. We've got a clock MBA for the exact same specialization. Oh, we've got for MSc in UK, we've got MSc Entrepreneurship, MSc Management, MSc Marketing, MSc Entrepreneurship, and we've got MBA, we've got MSc Global Business Management, we've got MSc International Business Management, and MSc Marketing. We've got so many of them. You might want to visit. My colleague Arushi dropped a chat message for you guys, and you might want to take a look at it. Which country do you prefer for MSDS? US or Germany, both? Does APS accept Duolingo? I think it does, yes. Or 2 years or 1 year gap, okay, from us in Germany? Yeah, 100% yes. What country is best to do MBA? Germany, Canada, US. I think my first instinctive answer would be the US. But if you are very worried about your PR, immigration experience in Germany, wishing you guys all the best. Thank you very much. Looking forward to your email inquiries for your messages. All right.